Hi, this is Jules with Love, and I am going to read my post, "What is most personal is most universal," a quote by Carl Jung, but I'm also going to add some more of my thoughts about the post. Have you ever noticed that when you feel really good about yourself, everyone else seems so much more likable? I had this thought one day while Facebook stalking, and you know you do it too. I would chuckle and mock at some of the posts that I felt were braggadocious. I love watching people's vacations and birthdays and anniversaries, but there's a point at which it tips over to the other side. And annoyance and disdain for this type of public, gratuitous information was disconcerting to me. Despite learning that these feelings are very common, I didn't like how it made me feel. I spoke to so many people who shared that when they would go on to Facebook, that at times it made them feel bad about their own lives. And I think that needs to be addressed. And here's my PSA for Facebook posting. In my humble opinion, I think 3 things need to be asked before you post. Is it true? What are your intentions? And will it affect others negatively? I decided to go against my initial cynicism and reply to a braggy post with a compliment. This little experiment turned out to be an amazing life lesson. I was surprised how good it felt to be positive, despite some disapproval. This juxtaposition of feelings was new to me, and I needed to have further reflection about my behaviors. So what I concluded came from a lot of information I gathered in books and speaking with people, and I can't take credit for this information, but I definitely feel it's worthwhile. We often don't like other people solely because we recognize in them traits in ourselves that we either don't like or wish we had. And that is a tough nut to chew. It's taken me years to figure that one out, and I highly recommend you write it down. My own insecurity and jealousy would be triggered by certain posts and pictures. Until I recognized and acknowledged that part of my personality, I wasn't going to change. It took a lot of honest introspection to figure out the reason why someone else's reality would be so bothersome. And it really had nothing to do with them. It turns out that when I love the reflection in the mirror, I am able to set aside my judgments of others and truly appreciate what they have to offer. Remembering that my confidence comes from being productive, physically active, loving toward my family, which I know my husband likes, optimistic and gentle with myself, helps diminish those negative thoughts and feelings I have toward others. Letting go of all the skepticism and arrogance made room for acceptance and self-love. I also learned that in order to continue being positive, despite some of the superficial information that is on, social media, I needed to change my focus and stop comparing myself to other people's selective moments. And I think that we all need to work on staying in our own lane and not comparing ourselves or trying to keep up. I also needed to watch how I represented myself on Facebook and ask myself those same questions, and to try to be sensitive to others. Self-worth is a common theme that many of us struggle with on a daily basis. For that reason, it is vital to continually address, dissect, and recognize this in ourselves. Only then can we be absolved of our negative self-concept, and create a productive, joy-filled life. There is a ton of shame and guilt related to some of these negative feelings that we have. And it makes it difficult to share openly and honestly, which is why I'm here sharing with you how I feel. even as I speak, I am uncomfortable knowing my past social media etiquette. But I also know that pretending that things don't bother us or that everything is perfect doesn't address the root of the problem. And social media isn't the problem. And I want to be clear about that. The problem is how we feel about ourselves. And the more love we have for ourselves, the more love we'll have for others. So here's the love. If you view the world in a negative manner, it only makes you a negative person. And who wants to be around that?